Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. The kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Item D on the agenda is the swearing in of firefighter and paramedic Abigail Zunk. Come on up. You can bring the whole family up if you'd like. If you dare.
Or you'll just come right back here. Yeah, yeah.
I bet. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Joe Bauer. Nice to meet you. Who's this?
This is Archer.
Hi, how are you?
Shake his hand.
Okay, so I'm going to read the oath. Have you repeat after me. You could raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Abigail Zunk,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Ohio,
and the state of Ohio,
the Charter,
the Charter,
ordinances,
ordinances,
and resolutions
and resolutions
of the city of Napoleon, Ohio,
of the city of Napoleon, Ohio,
the laws of the state of Ohio,
the laws of the state of Ohio,
and faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
and perform all duties
and perform my duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as a firefighter paramedic
as a firefighter paramedic
for the city of Napoleon, Ohio,
for the city of Napoleon, Ohio,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding.
and understanding.
Congratulations. I would like to turn it over to Chief, let him tell us about his new hire.
So Abby comes to us from Lucas County. It's this little special. I've actually known her husband a lot longer than I've known her. He was a colleague of his. And got to know Abby through him. She was in the fire service for a department and then was a dispatcher for a while. And then they decided to start their family, and then Archer came along. And she was out of it for a little bit, went back to paramedic school, and we kept hounding her to come work for us, and we were able to draw her away from Drew's home department and snag her here. She started part-time for us and quickly became a big asset to our department and became one of us. Luckily, and very seldom when you hear a fire chief say, luckily we had an opening, that we could get to her before she got picked up by somebody else full-time. And she's become one of our family and one that we really count on and depend on, and it's been awesome to see her grow in her skills and abilities and truly become one of us. So it is truly our honor to have you, Andrew, here tonight, and Archer too, and have this pinning done, because what she did, she started with us a little over a year ago full-time, but she completed her probationary period and now will be a full-fledged, full-time member for us. So it is truly great to have you with us. Where's the badge? Steve, you gotta stand right in the center though. Come on, Archie, you stand back here with me, okay? Okay? You stand back here, watch. You think he's gonna pull through? No. You don't think he'll pull through? No. Did mommy poke daddy? Abby, you can tell everybody out here that doesn't know from what I told them, you can tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hi. Been in and out of the service for the last 10 years. This has by far been the best job that I have ever had. love these guys a lot. I wouldn't be where I am today without any of them. So I appreciate you guys having me on, and I hope to create a fulfilling career out of it. So thank you. Let's start.
Welcome to our house.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Thanks.
And again, your signature here, please. Welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Alrighty, like always, we invite you to stay.
But like always.
Well, like always, we'll see you next time. As they migrate out, Chief Leg, I'll invite you up. We're going to add an item to the agenda here and invite Chief to the microphone.
I'll begin. This comes to you with permission from Bureau of Criminal Investigation and permission from the family. I address you tonight with a heavy heart, reporting to City Council and the citizens of Napoleon that on November 16th at 6:30 p.m., Officer Tyler Murray died in the line of duty. He started with the Napoleon Police Department on September 25th, 2018. He performed duties as a patrolman. He worked on the warrant entry team. He was a firearms instructor and an armorer. He will be sorely missed. Our department is resilient. We are going through very difficult times. His family is going through very difficult times, and we are working together to get through those. I just ask that we all understand that, and we will continue to do our jobs day in and day out. And when you see one of my people, we thank them for that. But I knew it was important for me to come and address you and officially announce that. And it was the official determination that whose name be released here at council. I felt that was important. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
On behalf of City Council, I would like to share just a few words too. As Chief Lake said, we're gathered tonight with a deep sadness and heavy hearts due to this tragic loss of a dedicated member of the Napoleon Police Department. This is a devastating moment for our entire community. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his wife, his daughters, his colleagues, and all of those who knew Tyler. Our police officers face an incredible challenge every day, and it's vital that we recognize not only the courage and service that they give to protect us, but also the toll that this profession can take on their mental and emotional well-being. As we grieve this loss, let us remember the life of Officer Murray, honor the sacrifice he made for all of us, and offer our sincere gratitude to not only him, but to all first responders serving this community. We stand in solidarity with his family, his department, and all the men and women who carry the weight of such a demanding job. With that, I would ask that everyone please join me in a moment of silence to reflect on Tyler's life and his service. Thank you. All right. Item E on the agenda is the approval of minutes. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the minutes shall stand approved from the November 4th, 2024 regular council meeting and the November 1st and 2nd, 2024 special council meetings.
I'd like to propose a change of the November 4th minutes. Page 2, first paragraph, I have where it says small said, the current, it says contractor. My proposed revision would be contract with Broiler.
Got it. Thank you, Brittany. Any other updates that were noticed?
Missed that.
She beat you to it.
He missed it. He said he's disappointing. So.
Alrighty, after those corrections, those minutes shall stand approved. Item F is citizen communication. If there's anyone in attendance tonight or online that would like to address council for anything outside of the agenda, feel free to come forward and we'll hear you at this time. Good
Hi.
evening, sir.
My name is Andy Rogers. My family and I have been doing life in this community for about 6 years now, a little over. And my concern is with the park at Southside, with the skate park. I would love to see the community be able to keep it. Even though it may be approved that you guys are gonna redo that park area and you're gonna take it away, I would love to see the equipment be moved elsewhere. And at Oakwood Park, there's a basketball court there that is surfaced very well, that I think you'd lose a basketball court, but the community has more basketball courts. They don't have any more skate parks. And I think that would be really cool to put it over there. And to keep it, I think the concrete's great over there. Me and my son actually frequent the skate park this past year. He's 9 and he's really gotten into it. And I grew up skating, and my community did not have a skate park until after I left. And so when we moved here, it was really cool that Napoleon had one. And I figured it was just a matter of time before me and my family began to utilize it, and we do. So we live on the south side. It's a couple blocks away from our house, and we've really loved it being there. So that's my idea, is to move it to Oakwood. And I've also talked to a couple clubs in the community that are willing to donate for labor expenses to relocate the equipment as well. I'm sure that equipment today would be upwards of, I don't know, $50,000, $60,000 to replace it all. So for just to go to a warehouse and then go to auction site online, I feel like it'd be a waste. So I just think that relocating would be cool. You get to keep skate park, get your pickleball, and you just have one less basketball court in the community. So.
Yeah, Andy, you've already put your contact info there. Will you just state your address for the record, please?
Oh yeah, 645 Appian Avenue.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. And Tony, have you guys connected?
Yes.
We have spoke on multiple occasions.
Okay.
So
Is that an option we could explore?
certainly is an option. Wasn't an option when we discussed it at board level or when I brought it to council committee. But it's something we can certainly look at. We do get, well, maybe not as much activity at Oakwood's basketball court. We do get play there. I mean, I witnessed it, and a lot of times it's during the day. Obviously, we realize there are some people that still do utilize the skate park, but certainly not at the level that we saw when it was first put in over 10 years ago, which is why we made the decision with the popularity of pickleball, that this would be an ideal spot that we could repurpose that area. So I'm willing to take it back to our board and we can pitch that idea and see where it goes from there.
That'd be great. Yes, sir.
How's the condition of the equipment? The skate park?
It's in pretty good condition, it really is. I mean, again, it doesn't just,
It's not
not a lot of wear and tear. It's pretty solid equipment when we got it, so, it can withstand, both the weather and any wear and tear that we had, so. If we did relocate it, which certainly was always something that I always wanted to do, it's just You do need a good concrete or asphalt surface, you can get right on it. So that was always the major reason why, you know, putting pickleball court there would be great, and we certainly get a lot of people that will have that interest. But it would be the expense of another facility, that was always kept outside of it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Appreciate it.
time.
Thank you.
Item G, reports from council committees. G1, the electric committee did not meet on November 12th, 2024 due to lack of agenda items. G2, the water, sewer, refuse, recycling, and litter committee did not meet on November 12th, 2024 due to lack of agenda items. G3, the municipal properties, building, land use, and economic development committee did not meet on November 12th due to lack of agenda items. And G4, the parks and recreation committee did not meet earlier this evening due to lack of agenda items. Item I, introduction of new ordinances and resolutions. I1, ordinance number 037-24, an ordinance establishing the appropriation measure budget of the city of Napoleon, Ohio for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025, listed in Exhibit A, and declaring an emergency. Do we have a motion?
Motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. Kevin, am I sending all of these your way tonight?
Send the first 8 my way, yes.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, Council President. So this is one of 8 that we'd asked for the council approve for first read. This is the appropriations budget of all the funds, and this is stemming from the meetings that we had back in early November with the budget hearings that we had on a Friday, Saturday. And so these are the total numbers per department and per by fund. And we ask that council approve these numbers. That would encompass all the requests that were made during those 2 days. That, if I remember right from that, there was, the end of the discussion was there wasn't much that wanted to be taken out or changed or removed. So these numbers are pretty firm or pretty close to what was discussed at the final budget meetings.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions or comments?
I do have maybe a question, and I'll direct it to you because we're all going to be voting on this shortly. I looked through that ordinance, and I expect that that's coming from the budget hearings that we had, and there were some discussions at some time or another about salaries and things like that. And the way it was presented, we didn't change any of that. The problem that I have in looking through the rest of it, and I know I would be skipping ahead, but there will be an ordinance that comes up that deals with the pay plan. And it just doesn't seem like they reflect what we talked about in, at least I can't match it up. And so when you were looking at it, I don't know why. I didn't ask a question because I feel it's appropriate to make phone calls around. So I thought I'd ask you, what was your vision on that? We have some salary changes that were proposed that we didn't take out. But when we look at those job classifications in the pay ordinance, the numbers don't match up. And there was a number of them. I didn't look at all of them, but there was, on a quick glance, there were 4 just looking through, and I think there might have been 1 in the salaries, but they just didn't match up for me. I couldn't figure out. Do we have?
I didn't notice anything that jumped off the page to me. Their specific jobs.
Well, the ones that the finance director discussed were mostly his.
Okay.
And they are senior account clerks, but the number that appears in that proposal is not any one of the numbers that appears on the line. Utility administrator similarly, senior service building secretary, I couldn't make that one match up. And there's some supplemental pay there, but even if I would use the supplemental pay because it doesn't appear it's being memorialized as in his department, none of those numbers seem to match up for me. And senior GSI tech was the other one. It just, the numbers just didn't match up from what we were looking at in the budget hearings to what this proposal says. Now, I realize we're talking ahead, but, and we probably shouldn't do that, but I just wondered if anybody else saw an issue with that, or I just don't know which one rules.
Andy, are you able to find that in the packet for me?
I just looked. I presume you're talking about ordinance number 040-24?
Yeah.
24, yes. 41, 24.
41.
Okay, 41, I'm sorry. Okay, 41, yes, just give me a second here. Okay, I guess I'm not sure exactly which jobs you're talking about, Councilman Weitzel.
Andy, it has to do with what's on the budget versus what's there.
Yes.
The amount that are listed on the budget are not going into effect. The amount that you see on that pay plan is what will go into effect next year.
So all of these are
Are accurate.
directly, exactly what their job classifications will be, or
Yeah.
are right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that higher or lower than?
The budget is higher than what those numbers are. He's speaking about the $32 for the individuals
Yes.
that are in Kevin's department. That was previously discussed, we were gonna hold off on.
Right.
And if we take the rates that were proposed, or that were used for 2024, that's the 3.5 on top of it. That's what those rates are,
And that's why
what they
there's
moved
the
to
discrepancy
next year.
from the budget documents to this
Yes.
now shows. So these are all correct.
Yes,
All right.
So just to reiterate, these are 2024 wages with the 3.5% added to them.
Steps, yes.
Correct.
These are steps, and the rest of them are ranges, and they all show the 3.5.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brittany. Yeah, to my recollection, we budgeted those dollars in preparation to potentially make those changes, but we weren't actively making those changes until potentially later on in the year.
That's correct. Just as it was discussed at the budget hearings, that none of these changes were going to come to effect on January 1st of 2025. There was going to be more discussions of that later.
Right.
That's correct.
That there was more than those was what was causing me the issue, and I'm satisfied that,
There, the GIS one, you are correct in flagging that. That was in a change by Chad that was approved by Andy in mid of last year due to Jacob Hall taking the position. So that one is the only one that's higher than the 3.5 that it was originally discussed.
which is fine, it's just, there was a discrepancy in looking at the budget documents compared to this document. Thank you.
I understand.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Councilman. All right, any other questions or comments on resolution 038-24?
It's
37.
Thank you. 037-24. All right, I'm hearing none. Michaela, please call the roll.
Ross,
Yes.
Kent,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany.
Yes.
All right, that will pass first read. Item I2, resolution number 038-24, a resolution authorizing the finance director to transfer certain fund balances from respective funds to other funds per ORC section 5705.14 on an as-needed basis for fiscal year 2025, listed in Exhibit A, and declaring an emergency.
Motion?
Second?
Thank you. Kevin?
Thank you, Council President. What this resolution allows is that the Finance Department to be able to move funds from one fund to another. This is something that we do continually throughout the year. and we are instructed that we are allowed to do it specifically by what's approved by this resolution. If that is not by this resolution, then we would have to go through the Budget and Finance Committee and then be pre-approved, or be approved then for other various fund-to-fund transfers. Just for an example, all of our income tax money goes into what we call our 170 fund. That's the number of it. It's the income tax fund, where certain percentage of that is required to go to the rec fund, which would be the 220 fund, and then some of it goes to our general fund, the 100 fund, and some of it goes to the capital fund, the 400 fund. There's various others that are here because it's depending on how our revenues come in. So when we have certain debt, we pay debt out of certain funds, but for example, water sewer is done by the electric rates, so the water sewer revenues that are brought in when people pay their bills are put into their 510 or 520 fund, but we pay the debt out of like the 511 and the 521 or 522 fund. And this allows us to move that money to make sure that those debt payments are made.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yep.
Any questions? Michaela, please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
That will move to second read. Item I3, ordinance number 039-24, an ordinance amending the allocation of funds as found in sections 193.11 and 194.013 of codified ordinances of the city of Napoleon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. Do you have a motion?
No motion.
Second.
Thank you. Kevin?
Thank you, Council President. This one here it says amended, and it's only amending the dates. There's no real change about it, and this is where we get a percentage split of the income tax fund, where it's 65% goes to the general fund, 35% goes to the capital fund.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments? Michaela, please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
Item I4, ordinance number 040-24, an ordinance apportioning the expenses incurred, including wages, salaries, and fringe benefits for the mayor, council, and various other departments of the city of Napoleon, which are not otherwise directly charged to special and/or capital projects among various accounts effective January 1st, 2025, amending ordinance numbers 014-09, 087-19, 069-20, 059-21, 076-22, and 048-23, and declaring an emergency. Do we have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Thank you. Kevin?
Thank you again, once Council President. What this allows us to do is we actually charge other departments and/or funds for various salaries and their fringe benefits. For example, you guys are all paid out of the general fund, as well as the mayor, as well as Mr. Harmon and Mr. Small and myself. But we don't just work for the general fund, we all work for part of the electric, part of the water, part of the sewer, part of the sanitation, refuse. So portions of our salaries and fringe benefits are then distributed to those departments, and then it's paid back to the general fund. And that's what this resolution does, is it allows us to and it's a difficult thing to look at there, I mean, to show it, but there's a certain percentage of each one. So like, and I can't see that from here, my eyes are not that good, but there's like 25% is from the electric and 25% from water and sewer and so forth. These numbers don't change too much. There's various things that we tweak from that time to time, but that's what we're passing here, is allowed for those other funds to pay for all of us here, as well as a few other people to run the city.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions from council? Hearing none, Michaela, please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
All right, we'll move to second reading. Item I-5, ordinance number 041-24, an ordinance establishing a new position classification pay plan for employees of the city of Napoleon, Ohio for the year 2025, repealing ordinance number 049-23 and declaring an emergency.
No motion.
Thank you, Tim. Kevin?
Okay, and once again, thank you, Council President. These are the pay classifications, and we have various ones because depending if they're salary or if they're hourly, and then we have the steps A, B, C, and D. These were all, most of them were just increased 3.5%, which was discussed at the budget.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions on this ordinance? I'm hearing none. Michaela, please call the roll.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany.
Yes.
All right. Item I-6, resolution number 042-24, a resolution authorizing a contribution to the Community Improvement Corporation of Henry County, Ohio, in and for the year 2025, and declaring an emergency. Do we have a motion?
Motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. Kevin?
All right, thank you again, once Council President. Annually, we give a contribution to the Community Improvement Corporation. I will note on this, because there was discussion during the budget hearings, that it's the same amount as it was in the last 2 years actually, and it's for $45,000. Just an FYI, they bill us quarterly for that, but this would be the total amount that we would pay them as a contribution.
Thank you, sir. Any questions on the resolution? Michaela, please call the roll.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany.
Yes.
That will move to second read. I-7, resolution number 043-24, a resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds and authorizing a department director to take bids on certain projects, services, equipment, materials, or supplies without the requirement for additional legislation to do so in the year 2025, and declaring an emergency. Do you have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Kevin?
Andy's going to bring up there, these are items that we have budgeted for 2025 that we need you guys to approve. So this is what we call the master bid list. And by approving this, allows the departments to not having to come back to council to purchase said items with this. So we try to capture anything that we do yearly. As you see, like we always buy EMS supplies, and we tend to buy golf carts every year. So instead of having to ask to come back and ask, can we buy 3 golf carts? It was approved by the budget and allows in this case, for that example, the rec department to go ahead and proceed and bid out those if they do wish to.
Thank you, Kevin.
There are, and as a point, and Andy has it up there, on under 4,300 is the storage building. So that is a one-time thing that was added to the budget. So that was added to this list here. So it's the approval to go ahead and make and get the bids.
Thank you, sir. Any additional questions on this resolution? Michaela, please call the roll.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany.
Yes.
That will also move on to second reading. Item I-8, resolution number 044-24, a resolution authorizing expenditure of funds in excess of $50,000 in and for the year 2025 as it relates to reoccurring costs associated with the operation of the city for payment of expenses and for purchases associated with vendors utilized by multiple departments within the city, elimination of necessity of competitive bidding in and for the year 2025 as it relates to certain transactions, and declaring an emergency.
A motion.
Second.
Thank you. Kevin?
Okay, thank you, Council President. So the last one here is just, the key word to here is reoccurring cost. We have a list of exhibits here and the items, and some of these stay on there year after year. Other times, we do change this, as we just did last month. We adjusted it a little bit. These are items that we purchased throughout the year that could, in excess, bring us over the $50,000 payment mark. And if they're on this list, then we do not have to come back to council to make sure that we have the blessing to do so. We are tied by statute that if there's something that we want to purchase over $50,000 that is not on this list, we would have to go to council for approval, but this exempts that from happening. And it's various items, like for example, the top, the page before that, Andy. Yeah, right there at the top. We have a contract for power purchase and services. I would hope this would always be on there because our bill is about $1 million a month, and we'd hate to have to come back to council to ask for blessing to pay our electric bill, so. But that's what this all the groupings on here allows us to spend over in excess of $50,000.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions on this resolution? Michaela, please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave? Brittany?
Yes.
All right. Item I-9, resolution number 045-24, a resolution extending the provisions contained in resolution number 057-23, wherein council imposed an immediate moratorium on the issuance and processing of permits allowing retail dispensaries, cultivators, and processors of adult-use marijuana within the city of Napoleon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Billy?
I can take it, sure. So we've got no updates at this point still. We're still waiting for the state to take some sort of action. Until the state does so and outlines what the rules are gonna be, it's likely inadvisable that council take any steps to issue any permits or do anything like that, or attempt to. Not that you would get that far, but I think this moratorium, keeping this moratorium in place makes the most sense, at least until we have some clarification as to what the state intends to do. After we have that clarification, then council can decide what it wants to do. And this is extended until it's repealed. So council has the luxury of waiting until the state takes some sort of action.
Perfect. Thank you, Billy. Any questions or comments from council? I'm hearing none. Michaela, please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
All right, now we'll move to second read. Item J, second reading of ordinances and resolutions. There are none this evening. Item K, third reading of ordinances and resolutions. There are also none. Item L, good of the city. L1, discussion or action, the approval of the power supply cost adjustment factor for November 2024 as PSCA 3-month average factor 0.00388 and JV2 0.045393. Andy.
Yes, Council President, I think the headline for this one should read, it's more than twice of what it was last month. But at the same time, it's the second lowest. I went back 4 years, and it's the second lowest in the last 4 years, so I guess it's all relative. Still not a lot of movement. Explained last month that there will be some changes starting next spring or summer in regard to costs, capacity costs. But for right now, we're enjoying very, very low prices, primarily due to fuel costs for natural gas, and the fact that our hydros haven't been running much because of river levels. So, but there's really nothing to report this month other than it's very low once again.
Thank you, Andy. Are there any questions from council? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second?
Thank you. Michaela, please call the roll.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Brittany?
Yes.
All right, that has been approved. Item L2, discussion or action. The Parks and Recreation Department received a donation from the Napoleon Church of the Nazarene in the amount of $8,000. These funds represent proceeds from their 5K run that was held in June of 2024. The church would like the funds earmarked for the addition of pickleball courts at Swearingen Park. Andy?
Yeah, I will pass it along to Tony. Once again, the Nazarene Church has been very generous, and I'll pass it on to Tony, and he can explain this donation.
Well, just to echo what Andy just stated, we have the good fortune yet again of this donation from Church of the Nazarene. They seem to be very committed to the Parks and Recreation Department. And in particular, improvements that we are trying to make to Swearingen Park. Comment was made to me a few years back that they kind of take this as one of their neighborhood playground areas and park areas, and so they want to help us as we try to improve that area. So they were very, very enthused about the idea of putting pickleball courts in, so that's why they'd like to see this money earmarked for that facility.
Thank you, Tony. Any questions or comments from council? All right. Is there a motion to accept?
No motion.
Second.
Thank you. Michaela, please call the roll.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany.
Yes.
All right, that has been accepted. And thank you to the Church of the Nazarene. Item L3, discussion or action. Request approval of the specifications to bid chemicals for the water treatment and wastewater treatment plants for fiscal year 2025.
Yes, Council President, this is an annual exercise, and I will pass it off to our water superintendent, Jeff Weiss. Say a word or two about it.
Just our annual request to bid chemicals for the water and wastewater plant. We have one at the water plant that will bid out, and then one at the wastewater plant that will bid out next year, so every year, so.
Thank you, Jeff. Questions from council? We touched on this a bit during budget. Overall costs were lower than last year.
We've seen some increases, some decreases. A lot of our chemicals that we use for purchasing contract, should stay under 50,000, well under that. We have seen quite a bit of a decrease with those, and we're actually projecting that again for next year. Not significant, but any decrease. So those chemicals that we do bid out is our most expensive chemical, so one we use the most. So obviously we're hoping for the best in the bid.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, Michaela, please call the roll, or actually, is there a motion to approve? I'm sorry.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. All right, Michaela, now, please call the roll.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany.
Yes.
All right, that has been approved. Item L4, discussion or action to approve PC 2409, vacation of alley. Andy?
Yeah, I can speak to this. It went before the planning commission. What you see here, this is the old central school, old civic center, CCHC. This is a house on the corner of Scott and Main. The alleyway in question to be vacated is just this small little portion here that juts in where the driveway is. It is of no use to the city. There's no utilities or anything in there. And they were just asking to basically have this vacated and absorb it into that property.
And there's no easements around that area at all?
No, there's nothing.
And the entirety would be absorbed into that property? In
Yes.
the entirety?
Yes. As you can see, years ago, this was abandoned as well. That's what you see there in the cross hatching. So I can't answer as to why this was never abandoned.
My impression was that with it being abandoned, they would not have any access to the rear of their property, which is really what the alleys are for. So I think it was just left, in my mind, it was always left just for that. But if it is part of their property, then they'll have as much access as they had before.
And it was approved.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
So I'll second.
Thank you. Michaela, please call the roll.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany.
Yes.
Alrighty. We'll go around the table. Kevin, can I start with you this evening?
I have nothing, thank you.
Thank you. Tom?
The Finance and Budget Committee has no new agenda items, so we will not be meeting next Monday.
Thank you.
Anything else, Tom?
Just to echo the thank you to the Church of the Nazarene for the generous donation.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Dave? Brittany? Mr. Mayor?
Nothing today, sir.
Mr. Hayes?
Looks like the leaf pickup has been going quite well.
Yes, and we hope it continues with the weather that we'll have this week. It'll be a little soggy,
Yeah.
but
I have nothing else.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Weitzel?
Nothing.
Jordan?
Just echoing what Andy had mentioned earlier, had a couple other citizens mention the same solution that Andy brought up, so just wanted it to be known that Andy's not the only one who's making comments and asking for a different solution for the skate park. Just throwing that out there. That's it.
Thanks, sir. Billy?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Andy?
I have nothing. Thank you.
I will request an executive session for pending or imminent court action, and also a separate executive session for compensation of personnel, please. If we can have a motion to go into executive session, please.
Oh, motion.
Second.
Thank you. Michaela, please call the roll.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany.
Yes.
Start with court action.
Yeah, mine will be pretty brief. So.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Brittany.
Yes.
We are adjourned.